Let me warmly welcome to the segment, Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine.
I was really happy working there. I was in a comfort zone, right? So being there for 8 years, that God knew if I was not asked to leave, I would actually never have left.
If you have a good solid income coming in, if you know that the place is good for you, why would you want to leave?
Your impact is not being felt enough because you've just become part of the office furniture. And if my God is with me, then I have no one else to fear. Absolutely no one, not my bosses, nobody else.
Blessed day to you all. Welcome to another segment of Trends and Truth. Last week, I got a very interesting message coming my way. Almost instantly, my reaction to this message was negative, and I felt worried for the person who sent me this message, because out of nowhere, someone sends me a message and says, I was fired. And naturally, my instant instinct was to reply and say, oh, I'm so sorry, I feel so bad for you. But just after that, she sends me another message that says, I'm overjoyed. And you can believe, just as I am, I was quite puzzled at that time on what I should say and I shouldn't. So today, to answer all of this and more, and to tell us her story, let me warmly welcome to the segment, Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine.
Thank you, Manju. It's a pleasure to be here.
Hi, Shams. So, let's get right to the point, right? You sent me this red message last week, and your response obviously was very, very surprising. But I know for a fact that you are rejoicing in the Lord this week, and God has just been so good to you. So let's go through the whole story from the beginning. Last year, this time, where were you and what was going on in your life?
Well, I was working full time. I was happy. But there was, I've been in this workplace for nearly 10 years, and I was kind of looking to get out, but I was really happy working there. I was in a comfort zone, right? So being there for 8 years. So I was, happily working and full time, and just with a small thought of leaving one day soon to, do something else or pursue something else in my life.
All right. Okay, and where are you right now?
Right now, I am, I wouldn't say unemployed, but I'm free of that almost 10-year commitment I had. And when I sent you that text last week, it was actually, I got a call from my office because I work in the travel industry. I used to work in the travel industry. So I got a call from my office saying, you've got to come in and meet the boss. So obviously we know when you have to come in and meet the boss, it's not good news. So as soon as I got the message, I was like thinking, yes. I know. It's because I knew what was going to happen. But also this year, this October would have marked 10 years in the same company. And at the beginning of this year, Bethany has the prayer cards, right? So something I wrote on the prayer card was, I don't want to spend 10 years at this particular place. So I knew that at the beginning of this year, this is something I wanted out of this year, right? But this is it seems like such a bad time to leave your job or to lose a job, right? But when it happened and I knew what was going to happen the next day, which was when I was going to meet my boss, I was so happy, and the calm that filled my body, my soul was happy, and I knew God had answered my prayer, because I knew that God knew if I was not asked to leave, I would actually never have left. That is a fact, because you get so comfortable with the people, with the work you do, with the environment in office. So I think that was really a point of, answered prayers, which would look really weird to the world around, like when you got the text, and I was telling you, I was really happy, and I know you seem like, I could read from your messages that you seem really shocked that I was so happy. But so.
I think if a viewer is watching today and they don't know much about you, it will be natural for them to wonder, did you have a terrible time at your workplace? Were they troubling you? Were they difficult to work with? Why would you want to leave if you have a secure job of 10 years, if you have a good solid income coming in, if you know that the place is good for you, why would you want to leave? So did you have a terrible time there?
Not at all. It was really good. Travel industry means I got to travel a lot, but also the only thing is I just felt like I was too comfortable there. You know how when you're too comfortable, you just feel like you're going in and out of work, and not really, your impact is not being felt enough because you've just become part of the office furniture. Right? So that was what I felt, and that's kind of what I was trying to run away from. But I don't think if I was left to my own devices, I would not have run away from it. I would have just sat there and happily blended in with the rest of the place.
All right. So, Shams, why did you react the way you did to this situation? I mean, to the firing of it all.
Yeah. Well, I think at first I couldn't. I think it comes with years of knowing that there is someone in control of my life. It comes with, for me, God has been there too many times in too many situations to pull me out or to catch me, to know that He is going to be there in this next situation, whatever it brings. I think I've been a born again Christian for maybe 15, 16 years. And just over the years, first when I started off, you have you pray, but you think, okay, is this going to work? Is God going to answer my prayer the way I want it to be answered? But then with years, I've learned that God might not answer the prayer the way I want it to be answered, but He will answer it, and He will make the way for me. Right? Like, I would never have expected to have been asked to leave, but that is the way that it will happen. And in fact, the same night, when the night before I was going to meet the bosses, I got an offer for another job. Right? So, I honestly couldn't ask for anything more. And not only that, I have more offers pouring in. So, God has closed one door, but He has opened, I don't know, maybe 10 more doors. Right? So, for me, Manju, I believe just we have to rest in Him. If we are happy, we go to Him. If we are sad, we go to Him. If we are troubled, we go to Him. It does not matter, but we always have to stay in Him. And for me, I cannot imagine if I didn't know Jesus, where I would be today. It's, I've been through a lot of tough times as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife. So it's not easy, but I know that He always gives me peace, and He always gives me strength to go through the situation or the season of my life.
It's amazing. And how faithful He is, isn't He?
Amen. Yes, He is a good Father.
But Shams, there might be someone watching today who in this season has also been let down by the office and without occupation at the moment. And obviously post-COVID, it's a horribly challenging period for many people. Financially especially, it's a very tough season, and they may look at you and wonder what on earth is wrong with this girl. Yes, God is faithful, yes, God opens doors, but what do you tell a person like that who's going through something like that today? What is your advice towards them?
I think my advice would be, Manju, to always take your prayer to Him. Take it to Him. It might take you a while, it might, the fruits might come later on, but always, even if you don't see, results tomorrow or the day after, just, keep praying, keep the faith, really. It's easy to, pray, and then when you don't see a result, you just say, okay, it's not going to work, let's just go somewhere and, try to find jobs in my own strength. But you have to obviously do the groundwork, but also your number one is prayer. Right? Always stay in faith and always keep God number one. I think that is where we all go wrong. Even now in situations, there are times where I forget God. I'm thinking of everything else that I should do, but then I always come back and I think, no, my prayer to my God is number one, because I mean, if he said, if we put him first, everything else will be given to us, right? And I don't have everything that I would like to have, but I have everything that I need. And I know that he provides, and he will only expand as we go to provide for me and for my family and my loved ones, and So for me, my testimony, I really hope, is a blessing to someone else to understand that even though you are going through a rough season, it's not the end. That season will end, and you will come out of it victorious, because you have to, if you keep your faith and trust in God, you will come out of it victorious. And there is nothing that God cannot do for you. You just have to, sometimes what we don't do is we are not specific with God. We don't ask him for what exactly we want. We just say, God, solve all my problems. But we need to be, even God would like us, I'm sure God would like us to be specific, because there are so many things that we want, right, as individuals. But I think to be specific and to say, I would like this job, I would like to work in this industry. Our God is a God of detail. He won't miss those little things, right? So for me, it's just going back to God and focusing on him, and knowing that it's a season, and it's a season where he will build you up to something greater. It's never a lost time, this struggle that you go through, it's not something that, you think it's a waste of my time. I'm struggling for no reason. You are struggling, but God is building your faith and your strength to do something more tomorrow. So I really believe in that, Manju. I know sometimes it might seem like crazy, because although I talk like this, sometimes even when I'm in that season, I might feel the same way. I feel like, it's crazy, battle after battle after battle. But I always have to bring my focus back to God and think he is leading the battle, and God is on my side. God is not on the other side. He is on my side. And if my God is with me, then I have no one else to fear. Absolutely no one, not my bosses, nobody else. So for me, I think that's my biggest strength. God is my biggest strength.
Oh, kudos to you for your faith. It's amazing. Shams, you mentioned a prayer card that you wrote on at the beginning of the year. Can you tell us a little bit about writing on it and waiting on it?
Okay, yes. So I think Bethany did this last year as well, but I didn't do it, right? So I just thought, it's a prayer card. Okay, I'll just forget it this time. But this year I was prompted very strongly to kind of write. So I think although we started in Jan, I wrote the card only in about end of Jan or Feb. So something that I did was I wrote it, and every time we came to church and we prayed also, I remembered what it was, what I wrote on this card. And for me, to be honest, it's not like something I had at the forefront of my mind. It's something that I knew I've written, but I never saw it I never thought I'd see it come to pass in the way that it did, especially, right? Because that's the thing, we always think we have to do the work. But when you put your trust in God, God does the work for you. You just have to place your faith and your trust in him. So waiting on that card was waiting on the prayers, it was not difficult, so to say, but it was quite challenging, because it's something you want, right? But it's like what I said before, we always think it won't happen. We never expect God to turn up, right? But you always need to remember that you pray, you ask for it, and God will turn up with your, with your wishes and your dreams,
So just to ask you, do you have more on that prayer card?
I do, and I'm waiting for it.
Oh, praise
and
God.
I have faith, I have signs of it coming to me, and I have faith they will also come to pass this year.
Praise God. And I'm sure he will
Amen.
answer, because he is truly faithful.
Amen.
In closing, Shams, is there anything you'd like to share with us and encourage us with?
Well, my thoughts in closing would really be to always put God first, because if you have God, really there is nothing that could shake you. There is nothing that could, bother you or trouble you, because He's in that boat with you, right? So you're not alone through any situation, through any season. You don't walk alone. You're always with God. There have been, I know sometimes faith takes time to build, but the little trials really help you to build up to those big trials. Like, for me, losing my job or being asked to leave. If I was a new believer, maybe I would be like, doubting and fearful of the situation. But I think there were little trials mixed in with bigger ones that sort of made me realize it. In time, I knew for a fact that God is there with me. I knew that, okay, I've been asked to leave. I'm not sure if next month I'll have an income, but I knew that there is nothing to be worried about because I knew that He was there. So I think my advice in closing, or my thoughts, would be really to always put God first, because there is nothing else that you would rather do actually. Once you do put Him first, you will see that everything else falls into place in your life, and you will be blessed beyond measure, beyond measure.
Thank you, Shams, for taking the time to share your testimony with us, and how you're faithful and good to glorify Him for all that He's done. So I think it's really important for all of us to remember that not only should we ask for the prayer and the blessing, but we should always come back and give Him the glory for it. And I'm
Amen.
sure God will honor you for doing so. Thank you, viewers, for watching today. I hope today's segment has encouraged you to keep up your faith. Don't give up, because God is in control. God has a plan for our lives, and God is faithful. He will never fail or forsake us. I hope this segment has enriched your life. Please share it with your friends, and if there are any other questions in your mind that you'd like answers for, write to us. We are willing to listen. We are willing to host segments and teach and help and encourage every one of you. We thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. God bless you all.